Okay, good morning. Morning, sir. Statistical quality control. So we'll now learn what is a statistical quality control. So we have seen various kind of quality control measures. In that, this is statistical quality control. That means the quality control procedures based on some statistics. So how we control the quality using certain statistics. So in the real time, what is the main thing is probability and statistics. That is in any industries, um we rely on these two main concepts like probability and statistics in order to find the various issues or analyze various issues like failures and all. So here in the case of quality control, statistical quality control, we will see. So this is one, that is the statistical quality control. It is a quality control system using statistical techniques like control charts, check sheets, sampling, etc. So these are the some of the techniques involved in statistical quality control. So this is actually a controlling system for the quality, where the techniques like or tools like control charts, check sheets, samplings, etc. will be used. And this is used to determine the quality as per the quality standards. So this is to determine per the quality standards. That is there is a preset standard, and according to the standard, whether it is functioning or not, we are monitoring or comparing. So it is used to control quality or to solve the quality control problems. So this is used to control the quality. There's nothing. Just തിരിച്ചും മറിച്ചും ഇങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നു അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. Okay. It makes the inspection more reliable. So this quality control, statistical quality control. So quality control, which is using the statistics. This makes the inspection more reliable. So the inspection will be more reliable if we are using the statistical methods. Now, this can be divided into three types. First one, descriptive statistics, then statistical process control, and acceptance sampling. So in the descriptive statistics, it is mainly used to describe the quality characteristics and relationships. So there is a quality characteristics and relationships. Many quality characteristics are there, and there is some relations. For implementing the relations, we use certain statistics like mean, standard deviation, range, measure of distribution of data, etc. Using these terms, we'll establish a relationship between the quality characteristics, various quality characteristics. These are involved in the descriptive statistics. Now coming to statistical process control. In that, it involves the inspecting a random sample of the output from the process and deciding whether the process is producing the product with the characteristics that falls within the predetermined range. So we have got a predetermined range according to our plan or the standard range, and we are inspecting a particular random sample from the output and deciding whether it is working properly or not. So it answers the question of whether the process of functioning process, whether it is functioning properly or not. Next is the acceptance sampling. Acceptance sampling is just the sampling technique where the randomly we are inspecting a sample and we will determine whether the batch of goods should be accepted or rejected. So these are the three broad categories of statistical quality control. That is descriptive statistics, statistical process control, and acceptance sampling. Next, advantages of statistical quality control. So what are the advantages, main advantages of a quality control? First one, statistical quality control is not costly, less costly. A simple thing. It is less costly because we are not using any other tools and all, physical tools. Just statistical means we have got using the data and using certain statistics by utilizing your using these statistics. What we get is we will get a trend, and we will be able to predict the future variations and all. So we can say the controlling procedure is not costly. Then statistical quality control helps to present and compare the data collected. So which all data we collect, this SQC helps to present it and compare the data. So comparing the data of various procedures, and we will be able to come up to a point where we can compare the two cases, and we will choose the best alternative, or we can compare the situations, anything. Next, SQC helps in predicting and estimating the probability of an event or a result. So regarding the probability, what is the probability that this should happen, or suppose a failure? What is the probability of a failure of this particular component in the future, or when will it fail? So what is the probability that if suppose this is the particular environment where the worker is being working, or if the worker A is working in the production unit B, then what is the probability that the product will fail, or what is the probability that the products can be manufactured within the time? So like that, we will be able to predict or estimate the probability of an event or a result. Next, SQC helps to establish the relationship between two variables. So we have many variables, that is production variables, that is continuously changing parameters. So we will be able to establish some relationships based on the available data. So which all data we are getting based on the statistics or the future or the usual trend, we will be able to analyze the thing by establishing certain relationship between the variables. Next, SQC is an essential tool for quality improvements. So in order to have the quality, better quality, or improving the quality, this is a must. That is a statistical quality control is a must. So these are the key advantages of a quality control, statistical quality control. First of all, regarding the cost, that is it is not costly. Then it will helps to present and compare the data collected. Then helps in predicting and estimating the probability of the event or an end result. Then helps to establish the relationship between two or more variables. Then finally, this is an essential tool for quality improvements. Now we see there are three broad categories for quality control. That is descriptive statistics, statistical process control, and acceptance sampling. From that, the descriptive statistics. What is the descriptive statistics? So we have seen this is mainly used in describing the certain characteristics of a product or a process. So what are the characteristics? Main characteristics of the products, and which are included are the mean, standard deviation, range, measure of distribution of data, etc. Right? So this actually measures the central tendency, such as mean. First of all, central tendency. We have already learned these terms in statistics, like mean, standard deviation, etc., variance, and all. So the central tendency is the mean. So this measures the mean value or the central tendency where this event is happening, or the where the mean value. What is the mean value of the some particular events, or the what is the mean value of the certain parameters. Now, regarding the variability, such as standard deviation, range, etc. What is the range of the values? Based on that, we can say what is the tolerance and all. So these are the descriptive statistics. Then statistical process control. Statistical process control. So this is a tool for process of monitoring and measuring the variability in the performance of a process by the use of statistical techniques such as control charts. So using the tools, some tools like control chart, we'll see. So the usage of tools like control charts, by the use of this particular chart, we'll be able to monitor some variability. What is the variability of the process, how it is varying, and all. If there is any variation from the standard value, standard preset value, or how it may vary, why it is varying, like that. These type of things can be analyzed from the control charts. So the control charts are mainly some charts which is made from the data we receive from the particular process or anything production. So this is the uh, statistical process control. That is, we are controlling the process using the statistics. This is employed to manage the in-process quality. So in process, work in process. So in process, what is the quality? How to manage it? That can be done using the statistical process control. The most commonly used tool for monitoring the production process is control chart. We have seen, already said, that is the control chart. Using this control chart, there are various types of control charts: X chart, P chart, C chart, etc. So like that, we have got many control charts, and using this control charts, we monitor the production process, various production process. So this involves mainly the systematic collection of data related to a process. So we are systematically uh, collect the various data related to any process. Then what we do? The data is collected to determine how often the tolerance limit are exceeded during the manufacturing, or to determine the incidence of defective parts in the lots received. So while we collect the data, we will determine how much there is a difference from the tolerance limit. So we, as a standard value or predetermined value, we will set a tolerance limit. Like this should not go beyond the maximum limit of this particular value, or it should not go down a certain value. So within the tolerance limit, it should be there. Likewise, we will set some standard. So if that is a tolerance limit, and according to our data, whichever data we have collected, we will compare it whether it is going beyond the tolerance limit or not. If it is going beyond the limit, then how it is being done or how it can be rectified. Also, regarding the defective parts, how much defective parts are there. So if it is there is a permissible limit according to our standard, that is this amount of or this proportion of failure can be tolerated. Beyond that, we cannot tolerate. So whether it is according to that or not, or how many defective parts are there, likewise these things are available, or these data are available. After collecting the data, for meaningful analysis and interpretation of the data are to be summarized methodically. So after getting the data, then the meaningful analysis, the analysis will be done. So analysis will be done based on the pre-existing rules or pre-existing standards and the knowledge level. We are interpreting the data, and we get a meaningful analysis or meaningful information. Now, the objectives. So what are the objectives of a statistical process control? First of all, collecting the data. The same thing, collecting the data. Whichever data are available, we just collect it using many means. Then second one, finding the root causes of problem. So there will be some problems due to which failure may occur or delay in the production may occur. So we have to find the root cause. What is the root cause of that problem, particular problem? Then later we will think of the future tendency, whether it will happen in the future or not, or when will it again happen. Likewise, we can predict the future tendencies. Then understanding and managing the variability in a process. So by the analysis of the data, we'll be able to find that there is some variability from the standard process. So how to manage it, we'll be able. That is understanding and managing the variability in the process. That is the next objective. And finally, preventing the defects and to pursue never-ending improvements. That is, by controlling everything, we will be able to prevent the defects in present and also in the future. We'll be able to prevent the future also defects. Then it will be able to have a never-ending improvement. So these are the key objectives of a statistical process control. The first one is collecting the data, then finding the root causes of the problem, predicting the future tendencies, understanding and managing variability in the process, and finally preventing the defects and to pursue never-ending improvements. Now coming to the advantages of control charts, we have seen various control charts we'll be discussing later. So control charts are nothing but type of chart we get from the which all data we have collected, and these are the advantages while using the control charts. First one, control charts helps to indicate whether the process is in control or not, or that is it is within the limits or not. That means using the control charts, we'll be able to find whether a particular process is within the limit or within the control limit, within the permissible limit. If it is not or beyond the limit, that means it is not accepted. So for any supplier, customer, they have some expectations. They will expect or accept the product within a certain limit only. So if it goes beyond that, then the whole load will be rejected. Likewise, any process, in the case of any process, if it is in control, that means the value of, if the vibration of the machine or anything like that, within the control limit or not, we'll be able to analyze from the control chart. Next, control chart helps to ensure the quality. So using the control charts, various types of control charts are available. Any control chart, it helps to ensure the quality while controlling different procedures. Ultimately, we will be able to ensure the quality, or we will be getting the quality, good quality. So we will be able to ensure the quality. Next, control chart helps to detect unusual variations taking place in the process. So in case of any variation, that can be analyzed from the chart. That is, the usual trend will be there in the chart, and the present condition can be analyzed parallel to the values. So we will be able to analyze, is there any variation, unusual variation. Unusual variation means it will go beyond the limits. There will be variation, but if there is a huge variation, that means there will be some causes of variation. That is, there are mainly two types of variation, that is variation due to assignable cause and variation due to chance cause. Two types of variation, that is, one, due to assignable cause. Assignable cause means the causes which we know. That is, for example, if there is a difference in the among the machines, suppose a process is done in machine A and another process done in machine B. So anyhow, machine A and B will be having some differences. So the output values may differ from A and B. So these types of variations are assignable causes, or difference in the workers, or difference in the materials, raw materials. So according to the difference in the materials or the workers or machines, there will be the some variations. That is the assignable causes. So these causes can be detected. These are the detectable causes of variations, and it can also be eliminated easily. So this is having some greater magnitude also. But in the case of chance causes means we cannot predict the causes. Like sometimes in the case of vibration, slight vibration in the machines, or slight variation in the raw materials, or in case of any play between the screw and nut, like that, if some unusual things happens, then due to this, some variation in the process parameters from the preset value or the standard values will be there. So that is the chance causes or random causes. So mainly there are two types of causes of variation. That is variation due to chance cause or random cause, and a variation due to assignable cause. Assignable cause, we know, we can predict it, mainly due to the difference in the among the machines or workers or material, whatever may be. And in the case of chance cause or random cause, it may be due to some of the things like vibration, we have already seen, play between the nut, etc. Anyway, so the control charts helps to detect the unusual variations. So any type of variation, whether it is chance causes or assignable causes, anything, the variation can be detected using the control charts. Next, it helps to set the tolerance limit. For setting the tolerance limit, what is the minimum value of a particular process, or what do you say, the characteristics, value, magnitude, anything, or the maximum value, what is the customer will be able to set the tolerance limit. So the tolerance limit can be set using the control charts. Then it helps to reduce the rejections. So this is mainly used to control the process or improve the quality. So ultimately we can say, when the quality increases, what happens? Amount of rejections will reduce. And one more, that is used to determine whether a given process can meet the specification without a fundamental change in the production process. So it will help to analyze whether a given process, any process, this meets the specification, which all specification is set as a standard, whether it can be met. How? Without fundamental change in the production process, that is without changing the overall process, whether it can be useful to meet the specification or not. So these are the main advantages of using control charts. Next, types of control charts. Basically, there are two types of control charts. First one, variable chart or measurement charts, and next is the attribute chart. So the by the name itself, you'll be getting an idea what is a type of charts, or the what type of charts comes under variable charts, and what type of charts comes under the attribute chart. So variable chart means variable, varying values, or it is used to monitor the characteristics like range of values like height, weight, or volume. So these types of characteristics can be measured using the variable charts or measurement charts. Examples are R chart, sigma chart, X chart, etc. And the attribute charts. Attribute charts are mainly used to monitor the characteristics that have a discrete values and can be counted. So those characteristics which can be discrete, that is discrete values. So these can be counted or monitored using the attribute charts. Attribute charts examples are P chart and C chart. Next, regarding the steps to develop, how to develop a control chart. So that we will discuss in the next class.